by our respected guest speakers. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir. We are really glad to have you here. So, before we dive into the questions, could you please introduce about yourself and tell us about when you graduated and what you are doing now?
Thank you very much for having me here. In this particular school, it was 1994 when this was inaugurated. So it was 8th standard for me when I had come here. It was a different era altogether, lovely memories because we used to explore the school all around. I still remember all the class nuts. In the break time, we used to go to different classes just see what furniture it is because it was all new for us. That is how we capture the memories of this school. I graduated in 1999 from here, and then I did my medicine. I'm a doctor by profession at the moment. I'm practicing diabetes care specialist. I did my master's in India and my diploma in UK. And now I'm here today as part of your career guidance, sir. I'm honored to be here.
That's wonderful, sir. It's great to hear your journey on your side. So, sir, moving on to the next question. What inspired you to pursue your career as doctor? And what challenges did you face during your journey?
The most important thing to be a doctor is to have some kind of compassion, some empathy. And you need to be focused. I think if you're not focused, it's never easy. It's not easy in a way saying that you have to put in lots of effort, long duration, probably 10 years to become specialists or consultants in that level, but it pays off. It pays off why? Because at the end of the day, if patient smiles back at you, that's it. It makes a lot of difference. If patient appreciates your work, the patient feels happy about the way you have helped him or her out, it is something which is totally different. And you say there's a saying we say that a smile is a curve, it changes everything. So you smile, you change everything. Studying is not easy, but yes, I do always advise everyone focus and do study. That's more important than yes.
That words are just mind-boggling, sir, and it was great insight, sir. So now, sir, moving on to the last question. My final question to you is: what advice would you give to students who are still studying here, like me, any juniors who are in my 10? Any tips regarding board exams and anything that motivate them throughout the life?
The most important thing will be to decide what they want to do and open a channel of communication with their parents. Somebody might be interested in photography, somebody might be interested in arts, journalism. This is the right time to speak to your parents. As I mentioned during the talk, OGs, your parents and your teachers are the most important friendly. Speak to them, get insights from them, tell them what you actually want to do, because then they will help you to other people and their experiences and might be able to guide you in the best possible manner. Always remember, your parents and your teachers, they are the only ones at the moment who will be guiding you to the best possible manner. And keep yourself focused. It's always that never easy to study, but that is really proceed further because a good educational background will definitely fetch you a lot. Any kind of super specialty that always jump you into the front of line at job searches. So the more you have, it's always the better. And keep learning because we keep on learning and then only we keep on improvising. And that is how the job field works. That's my tip.
No, that's such a meaningful perspective, sir. And thank you, sir, for giving your time and this much of information. But once again, I am really thankful to you. It's a great honor for me to even have a talk with you. And I'm sure that juniors will surely get some help from your thoughts. Thank you. So I'm joined now by our respected guest speaker, Yasin Al-Saeed, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We're really glad to have you here. So before we dive into the questions, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about when you graduated and what are you doing now?
Oh, I graduated in grade 10, so I didn't complete the batch of 2016. Eventually, my batch is of batch 2016, which is not really far from now. I left after grade 10 and the plan was to become ZA because I even got commerce and it was like, I'll stay to commerce. Never planned to become a doctor. So After I went to Mumbai, did my commerce. They have a college thing which was kind of fancy for my friends. We didn't have that thing yet. And coming back from commerce and doing a little bit of IT, I switched my career because the first thing that hits up here is the fields in Saudi universities are not as vast at that time compared to how it is in India or UK. So the choice were either become a doctor, whether become BA English or go to engineering. So I picked engineering. Usually I fit in that criteria, like do engineering and then think what you have to do. Most of the people have that thing. So I picked up engineering. Now in engineering, I am really bad in maths. I hate it. So the points were, should I go in aeronautics or mechanical? Coming up to IT, it was something that's exciting. And I started my engineering in IT. At the time I just started, it was like, I'm not like from a very wealthy family who's going to offer different things. I was thinking about how should I actually be able to independently do this thing. And I came across, I was teaching many of my friends, even from school onwards, I was really good in explaining things. Like today, in 10 minutes, we just learned about agentic AI. I know if anyone, I think I will ask anyone what's agentic AI. Okay, it's Gen AI, specialized AI. That's it. Rather than to go a whole day at school and there's a stand, we cover that. So I was explaining that way, and I came across a student. She was a princess in Jeddah, and I taught her for many years, starting from age 17. So that was my start into career in teaching. And then suddenly someday the government schools, Saudi schools, or one of the phone came, can you come and teach? And I never say no. That's the best thing you need to do. Never say no. Yes. Eventually, once you're going to reach to an area, you have to learn how to say no. But when you're starting into something and you are trying to experience things, never say no. So I said, yes, I will come and teach. It was kind of crazy, like going through a different Saudi curriculum, seeing those students. And they said, okay, teach higher schools. I said, no, I will teach the primary years. And I started teaching primary years for, let's say, 4 years. Within that 4 years, as I was doing engineering and those teachers are just using the old technology, old book stuff, I introduced the AI, educational technology to that. That made me become more into educational tech leader. And by the time of COVID, I ended the teaching and started a school in States. So that school went up to teaching little kids coding, to teens coding, and to get them, I would say, a master skill enrichment, finding them, helping them to find a job. So how old are you? The time they finish their high school, they get the job. That was the point. They will get it in the
Question. My final question is, what advice would you give to students who are still studying here, like juniors, 9th and 10th? Any tips, that final advice you want to give?
Well, I think I answered this in the last question, and the advice is start early, because you're gonna have this time where it cannot be done later on. The time you're having right now, apart from school curriculum and examination, this is your free, less responsible time. For the next 10 years, it's going to get crazier and crazier. I know people say after 10, it's going to be better. After 12, it's going to be better. You're going to enjoy it. Trust, it's going to get crazier. You're going to have a lot of things to add on. So until you're 18 years, I think this is the time where you are independent. Independently free, and you don't have much of responsibilities. You definitely are thinking for the bait motivations up. So use it for certification. Because industry right now, definitely they look for your graduate to get a bachelor's something. But if you're going into the tech industry, marketing industry, even accounting, these certifications are going to put your application on top of it. Because as a young, finding your first job is always going to be the hardest job. And then it's going to get easier because you got experience. So how do you find your first job? At the very early age, I think grade 11, grade 10, find the skill that you like. So if you like coding, start coding. If you like to play games, trust me, gaming industry is huge. If you like to play game, just build up your career towards. Don't just waste your time in competing. Why don't you just, if you like streaming, go for streaming. If you like coding, I will give an aspect of a computer science student. Like coding, don't wait that you finish your Big 12, do a BSc IT or something. Get your certifications up, get your skills up. So you're building your profile as early, because I have students from UK who started with me when they were in grade 6. And by the time they graduate grade 12, they already had a lot of associate degrees. They had multiple certifications, everything up. So the companies were like, fine, you do your bachelor's, but also work for us as a part-time. So you have to enrich your skills as early as you can, so you won't have to waste your time at that thing. And I would say there are a lot of tracks. It's not a rocket science. Even rocket science is easy now. Just to say, it's not rocket science. It takes about 3 months to 6 months to become cybersecurity intermediate AI specialist. You can become within a year. So it's not something, oh my God, I have to pay a lot of money. It's free. Education is free. Definitely for instructor, you might have to enroll a course, but it's not that complicated. So for kids, I mean, not kids, I'm a kid myself. So for 11th and 12th grads, I would say pick your career, look for making it into a specific core skill and use it for the overtime. Even if you find your first job which is not matching your core skill, fine, just carry on your coursework because you always can switch your career. You don't have to follow the same career path because some find their career very early, some at the age of 40, 50, they realize they have to change. But if you have to understand how things are changing, look at the students from US and the UK part of all, the Europe part of all. Like if you ask the tech billionaires, they will say they built the computers when they were 6-year-old. I mean, we still don't get access to phone. So build that kind of mentality that you're using it for entrepreneurship. So that's something for kids, I would say. Just don't waste it out. And if you have a phone, try to see how you can build mobile apps. If you play games, why don't you become a best gamer, not just to play it with your friends and let it go? If you're a coder, why don't you start your own company and solve problems? Even if you're not earning, but this core skill is going to let you become something. And if you're into good explaining, like me, become a teacher. And spoke.
That's such a meaningful perspective, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your time and perspectives. Well, and you say it's a great honor for me to even stand in for you to even ask questions to you. Thank you once again.
Spoke. Right. Thank you. Mouth.
I am joined now by our respected guest speaker, Ahmed Zamir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We are really glad to have you here. Before we dive into the questions, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about when you graduated and what you are doing now?
Thank you very much, and it was really pleasant meeting you all. And telling telling about our careers to our fellow juniors feels nostalgic. It was the same way it happened to us. I was a pass out from 2014 and 15 batch, and I was a student from Commerce 1. So at that time, I did not have plenty of options to, I look after my career. But going forward, when I stepped out of IISJ, I felt no, all the fields are open for me, no matter, except science, of course, and not being a doctor or an engineer, but I could go in any other fields. Like these all things what you guys are doing, reporters and updating everyone's day-to-day life and events. These are all professions out there in the real world. So you getting those exposures in school is something very good, and these are the tools you carry outside and how you carry yourself outside, and these all things will really help you. Your education is as similar as everyone. You'll be educating yourself as everyone is going to, but these things are the things which will keep you apart from everyone. Thank you.
That's wonderful, sir. It's great to hear about your journey so far. So now moving on to the next question, sir. What inspired to pursue your career? Like, what challenges did you face early in your journey?
I chose my path in my 12th standard, and I spoke to my brothers, and as I said in my speech, I spoke to people like Asim Bhai and everyone, and I figured out that sales is something I love. I am not a person who could sit on desk and do work on desk. So I stepped out and I said, I go for sales. Now, when I got to know what I wanted to do, similarly, I started finding out ways of, how to reach to my goals. I had to sit and plan what am I going to study and what am I going to do once I'm pursuing my studies. It's not only when you go to India or anywhere else in the world, when you go and study BBA, it's not only what you're going to do. It's about how you're going to live over there. How are you going to manage yourself? How are you going to, there are many things. You will be away from your family. after so many years, how are you going to take that and with your studies pressure, how are you going to merge them all and come out as a very different person once you walk out of college as well? And that is how I felt my career has started already when I stepped into my college. Similarly, like, we had seniors who were guiding us and so on. So once you start talking to people, you speak to them, be it anybody, your friends, your seniors or teachers, to the right people, you will get good answers and you will get good guidance to your career. Your father might be explaining you the same thing, but you're not understanding it. It's just because it is there. It's something like this. But when a third person says, you agree to it. Similar. Thank you.
That's it. So, to end on the note, my final question is, what advice would you give to students who are still studying here, like me, or the juniors in 9th and 10th?
Well, giving advice to juniors is start looking into yourself and find out what you want to do. Explore yourself, explore the surroundings, okay, and get experience through others' experiences. When you are as a student, it's not only about studies, it's about how you take decisions in your life. Okay, so after walking out of school, it is also a major decision you take. In my case, I feel my parents supported me because they felt I was responsible enough to take those decisions, whether it be college or the courses I want to take. Whereas in current scenario, the students are lacking in responsibility. The parents are not able to connect, or they don't feel this. Children are responsible enough to take decision. So once you get the form of responsibility within you, it helps you choose better paths. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your time and perspective. It's really a great honor for me to even stand in front of you. I'm sure that juniors will really get help after listening this. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm joined now by our respected chief guest, Father Ahmed. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We are really glad to have you. So before we begin, could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about how you graduated from IISJ and what you are doing now?
Yeah, perfect. So thank you for having me. I studied in IISJ from 1995 to 2008. I graduated in 2008. And I did my computer science engineering, and then worked for a while, and then started Palmate Technologies. And now it's 12 years. I am currently enjoying the journey. That's so, yeah.
And that's wonderful, sir. It's great to hear about your journey so far. So, sir, now moving on to the next question. What inspired you to pursue your career, and what challenges did you face early in your journey when you were in your teen age?
Yes. So the inspiration was basically while in college, attending hackathons, conducting events, and being very active gave me, flipped the spark in me, wherein there is something that I got that I can probably do something of my own. So that's all how it began, and then definitely I had to build the capabilities to make it happen.
That's a really great insight, sir. So now let's move on to the last question. My final question to you is, sir, what advice would you give to students who are still studying here, like juniors like me, and who are in 9th and 10th, are going to approach the board exams? What's that final advice that motivated them to entire life?
Grades are really important. Focus. Somehow get the best you can, because that's the gateway for whatever you want to do. And then sidewise try to improve your skills or build skills, and enjoy what you do, because whatever it is, if it's your school life or college life, I mean, that's not going to come back. So do not miss that opportunity.
That's such a meaningful perspective, sir. Thank you for coming today, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your time and perspective. It's a great honor for me to even stand in front of you and even ask questions. And surely, I'm surely going to say that juniors are really going to get helped by your wise words. Thank you so much again. Thank you.